Question number 146. Which of the following will not occur during generation and conduction of nerve impulse? Now, before proceeding, let's discuss the mechanism of generation and conduction of nerve impulse along an axon. At rest, the neural membrane is nearly impermeable to sodium ions, whereas it is permeable to potassium ions. Why? Because inside exoplasm, potassium levels are high, whereas outside the exoplasm, sodium levels are high. Now, let's suppose stimulus is applied at site A on this polarized membrane, where the outside is positively charged and inside is negatively charged. So, the membrane at this site A, it becomes freely permeable to sodium ions, and this leads to rapid influx of sodium ions into the exoplasm from the extracellular fluid. And this is followed by the reversal of polarity at this site. As you can see here, the outer surface of membrane becomes negatively charged, whereas the inside surface of this membrane becomes positively charged. Now at this site, immediately ahead, the axonal membrane is positively charged outside and negatively charged inside. As a result, the current flows from point B to A on the outer surface of this axonal membrane and from A to B on the inner surface of this axonal membrane in order to complete the circuit of current flow. So the direction of current flow is unidirectional on the outer surface as well as in the inner surface, and the current flows from site on to axon in a unidirectional manner. And as you can see here, that in this depolarized membrane, the flow of current on the outer axonal membrane is just opposite on the inner cell membrane. Now let's discuss the options first. The very first option given is, during depolarization phase, flow of current on the outer side of axonal membrane is just opposite to that on cytosolic site of axonal membrane. And this is a correct statement. As you can see here, that on the outer surface, the flow of current is from B to A, whereas on the inner surface, it is from A to B. So this is a correct statement, so cannot be a correct answer to our question. The next option is, application of threshold stimulus causes a change in permeability of axonal membrane, leading to reversal of its polarity. And this is also a correct statement, so cannot be a correct answer to our question. As you can see here, on application of this threshold stimulus at site A, this will lead to the reversal of polarity. The next option is, influx of potassium restores the membrane polarity after depolarization. And this is an incorrect statement and is a correct answer to our question, because it is the influx of sodium ion that will lead to depolarization, whereas the efflux of potassium ions is essential in order to restore the membrane polarity after depolarization. The next option is, there is unidirectional conduction of impulse through an axon, and as it's a correct statement, so cannot be a correct answer to our question. So the correct answer to this question is option number 3. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 147. The type of muscles present in our biceps are uninucleated and voluntary. Now we know that in biceps, the muscles are skeletal muscles. And as you can see in this diagrammatic representation, which is given in your NCERT book, this muscle tissue is known as skeleton or striated muscle tissue, and it is multinucleated and voluntary. So this is an incorrect option. The next option is, type of muscle present in heart are non-striated and involuntary, and this is also an incorrect option, because as you can see in this diagrammatic representation, this is cardiac muscle tissue and it exhibits striations. There are striations in cardiac muscle fiber. So this is an incorrect option, because there are striations present, although the muscle fibers are involuntary nature, but they are striated. So this is an incorrect option. The next option is, type of muscle present in thigh are multinucleated and fusiform in shaped. And this is an incorrect option, because the type of muscle fibers present in thigh are also skeleton muscles, and these are striated and cylindrical shaped rather than fusiform shaped. So this is an incorrect option. The next option in, the type of muscles present in stomach are unbranched and involuntary, and this is a correct option and is a correct answer to our question, because the type of muscle fibers present in stomach are smooth muscle fibers. As you can see here, these smooth muscle fibers are uninucleated, fusiform shaped, unbranched, involuntary muscle fibers. So the correct answer for this question is option number 4. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 148. A person is having problem with calcium and phosphate metabolism in his body, leading to thinning of bones. Which of the following should not be administered to treat this condition? So this person is suffering from a problem which leads to thinning of bones. And thinning of bone occurs due to loss of minerals from bones. And among the given options, it is parathormone, that is PTH, which mobilizes calcium ions from bones, leading to increase in calcium level in blood. And this will lead to what? This leads to thinning of bone. So a person which is already suffering from a problem with calcium and phosphate metabolism in his body need not to be administered with this hormone known as PTH. So the correct answer for this question is option number 3. On the other hand, calcitonin, which causes decrease in calcium level and its further deposition in bone. So this cannot be a correct answer. And the next option given is calcitriol and vitamin D3. Calcitriol is another name for vitamin D3, and these cannot be the correct answers because this calcitriol stimulates increased absorption of calcium from food in gastrointestinal tract, that is GIT, which further increases calcium levels in blood. So this calcitonin, calcitriol, or vitamin D3 acts antagonistic to parathormone. On one hand, this parathormone will lead to increase in calcium levels in blood, whereas other 3 options, they will lead to decrease in calcium levels in blood. So the correct answer for this question is option number 3. Let's discuss our next question. Question number 149. Select the hormone that interacts directly with genome of target cells and alters the expression of genes. And the correct answer to this question is option number 3, that is estrogen. As you can see here, this is a diagrammatic representation of mechanism of hormone action for steroid hormone, which is given in your NCERT book. And as you can see here, that steroid hormones such as estrogen cross the plasma membrane and can bind to the receptor which is present in the cytoplasm. And then this hormone receptor complex then enters the nucleus and bind to the respective gene and thereby regulate the expression of that gene. On the other hand, the other 3 hormones like epinephrine, glucagon and FSH cannot be the correct answers because these hormones are water-soluble hormones and they interact with the extracellular receptor present on the surface of the cell. So when they bind to these extracellular receptors, they'll form a hormone receptor complex and then they'll initiate the cascade pathway within the cell. So the correct answer to this question is option number 3, that is estrogen. They can interact directly with the genome of target cells and alters the expression of their respective genes. Now let's discuss our next question. Question number 150. Resting membrane potential of a neuron is maintained by action of sodium-potassium pump which transports, and this is a direct question from your NCERT book, the sodium-potassium ATPase. Sodium-potassium ATPase is an electrogenic transmembrane protein, and this pumps 3 sodium to extracellular fluid from the exoplasm and 2 potassium ions into the exoplasm from the extracellular fluid. So the correct answer for this question is option number 1, that is 3 sodiums to extracellular fluid and 2 potassium ions into the cell is the correct answer to our question. The other options are 3 sodium into the cell and 2 potassium into extracellular fluid. This is an incorrect option. 2 sodium into the cell and 3 potassiums into extracellular fluid is also an incorrect option. 2 sodiums to extracellular fluid and 3 potassium into cell is also an incorrect option. So the correct answer is option number 1. Let's discuss our next question.